Alright, well, welcome aboard to FlameFlash.net, episode 55. We're a little bit later, middle of the night kind of thing, but then I went grocery shopping tonight instead of tomorrow night. Usually we go on Thursdays, so I'm a little extra pumped with caffeine. I don't usually have caffeines on Wednesday nights, so let's get started. I'm FlameFlash, by the way, of FlameFlash.net, and we're with episode 55. Can you tell I've had some caffeine? Not going to be a full episode this evening, just because, well, it's later than usual. But that means you get more Flame Flash this week than usual. Win-win, I think, at least. We'll get started with the Raptor Report. It's going to be the Raptor Report, and then the news bits that happened before Memorial Day weekend. But the Raptor Report's going to be pretty full. Wow, I'm talking a lot faster. Yay, caffeine. But the Raptor Report, as I said, is going to be pretty full, thanks to that wonderful, wonderful Memorial Day weekend. I hope everyone had a good one. Birthday. My birthday was last week, Wednesday. So between then and now, I had plenty of time, fortunately, to enjoy the life of a gamer quite a bit. We'll start things off with Street Fighter 4. We're going in chronological order this time of what was played, because enough was played that, well, to go just based on the Raptor Report, and I'd missed some things, surprisingly. Street Fighter 4. I actually am highly impressed with this game. It was an El Cheapo, just Street Fighter 4. That's it. We're going to jump right over to one of the random news bits, actually, because a Street Fighter 25th anniversary pack has been hinted at. $150, but you get Street Fighter vs. Tekken, or Street Fighter Cross Tekken, excuse me, Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, Super Street Fighter 2 HD Remix, and the Street Fighter 3 online version for the platform of your choice. You also get a Ryu statue and, or Ryu, how do they pronounce it? And quite a few Street Fighter themed movies and television series videos on multiple discs. Same with soundtrack, art book. I believe you also get Ryu's black belt. A very cool $150 gift pack for the Street Fighter fan. Street Fighter 4 is the first one I've picked up in a long time. Street Fighter Alpha 3 was the last one that I was involved with. I haven't lost my touch. I started getting my butt kicked 4 or 5 rounds in on medium, but new challengers kept kicking in. Thanks to the PlayStation Network, it was more like an arcade. Random people would walk, quote unquote, up to the cabinet, join the game, and play. I got a trophy nice and quickly for winning 5 online matches. I believe the 6th person that approached quite literally slung me around and wiped the floor with me. But it was pretty nice that I held my own, and being a complete noob, my first 5 matches were very successful. It was that 6th one that broke the streak, but oh well. Even that one, getting schooled, was satisfying. I think had I been on the Xbox, where maybe they were able to taunt me through my headphones, I wouldn't have had so much fun. But it was a silent play. That's all I'm here for. It's not trash talk, it's not to argue, it's just to play. That's why I game. I don't game to talk politics. Sims 3. Fantastic game. Wife made some new Sims. She's finally using the laptop. We ended up with 2 licenses for The Sims 3 because the when one of us is playing The Sims 3, one of the kids inevitably is going to want to play The Sims 3 as well. Just, that's how it happens. Now, we don't invest in, say, the stuff packs for the kids' license, but they still enjoy the experience quite a bit. But over on the laptop, Red Flare couldn't get enough. She finally gave it a shot. The Mac is slower, naturally. It's not a 64-bit machine. And she'd been using the kids' license. Finally using the grown-ups license. Night and day. She was actually able to play a family, have the mother pop out quite a few kids, have the father bug out and get stuck in the bed. Typical Sims 3 stuff. She's finally able to enjoy it. And she finally sees what I've been talking about for the past year. That's right, honey, I just made an I told you so public. Sorry about that. But it's a great game. Fantastic. Iron Man 2 shows up on the Raptor Report because the kids are absolutely having a blast with this one. This and Street Fighter 4 were in some odd conjoined pack at Sam's Club for $12. Whoa. $6 Iron Man 2 and Street Fighter 4 games? How can you pass that up? I knew I liked Street Fighter. So, $12 for that, and assuming that the movie game was going to be a flop. But guess what? I'm interested. I haven't had a chance to play it myself yet, but Iron Man 2 for the PlayStation 3 is not just the movie rehashed. It's after the movie. Another story that complements the time directly after the movie. Awesome. I love it. It feels like it could have been, say, Iron Man 3. We know it's not going to be, but it could have been. You can choose to play as either the War Machine or one of the Iron Man suits. It sounds like it's voiced by the original movie cast of Iron Man 2. Sounds like Robert Downey Jr. Maybe it's not, but it sounds like him, and that's what matters. The animation leaves a little to be desired. Like, maybe Robert Downey Jr. didn't sign off on his likeness enough, so they kind of made Tony Stark look like him, but kind of not. Either that or they just didn't have the resources. Gameplay is what's important. The controls look awkward. I haven't had a chance to play yet, so I don't know for sure, but they look awkward. We'll have to wait and see. The older son is racking up the trophies and quite proud of it. Diablo 3 received quite a bit more playtime. I'm loving the game. I'm not even much past killing the Skeleton King yet. All my characters are low level, but I'm still just sitting back and enjoying. Diablo 3 for me is going to be a book that I sit down and read occasionally, play through occasionally. Right now is amazed, for instance, that the Wizard's arcane exploding ball and floor lightning was a very effective combination, and that the Witch Doctor's summoned dogs and jars of spiders is a nice combination. We'll have to see if I stick with it. Probably won't, but I'm having fun. This isn't a game that you're expected to rush through. I weep for those poor souls that have. I'm enjoying it. Slow and steady. Might and Magic Clash of Heroes for the PC. This one was a birthday gift from my cousin, like my brother, and it was on the Steam wish list, so a very wise move there. This is a fantasy strategy puzzle amalgam You're given units. The units can level up like in an RPG. Your player can level up like in an RPG. But then you're given units that you have to move around the board. You have 3 moves unless you meet certain conditions. Your opponent then has 3 moves to move his characters. You line them up just right, and then after a turn or 2 they'll fling their energy bolts or charge, depending on what they are, off onto your opponent's side, and the first one who hits 0 hit points loses. Good. It's a good game. Not very far into it yet. Racked up about 2 hours, though. Slow and steady. It's going to be one I definitely go back to. I really enjoyed the PlayStation 3 demo, so there's a demo out there, folks. Go try the demo. Check it out for yourselves. I like it. You may not. I understand that. League of Legends. Whoa, I'm playing a mainstream game again? You got first Diablo 3 and now League of Legends? Wow. Racked up about 2 hours myself on this one. It's good. I think I'll definitely be waiting to invest in any of these Dota-style games until Blizzard All-Stars comes out. But it's good. I like it. So maybe pop in occasionally. Son liked it too. Older son liked it too. Having an understanding, thanks to Awesomenauts in a 2D realm, really helped a lot. I'd like to find a healer character, but I have so far settled on a magic using warlocky kind of guy, and I like him just as well. I'd like to find a healer, but I'll take what I can get. I'll take what I can find. So let's see here. Scrolling up through the... Oh, World of Warcraft, of course. Daughter got me some really awesome... Whoop! Background noise! Background noise. Well, I couldn't reach them all quickly. But collectible card game in-game pets. And I was able to show the code on screen because, haha, good luck. I've already used it. The Grell is probably my favorite. He looks like a little imp. So now every one of my characters can celebrate the fact that I have a warlock. Because he looks like a little warlock imp. Granted, these are the little Grells that you go and kill as a starting night elf, or did back in the day. I haven't made a new night elf in Cataclysm, so I don't know. But it harkens back to both my warlock and the startings of my first druid. It's a nice blast into the past. The pufferfish was a great surprise as well, and I look forward to, in Mists, having them on all of my characters. That's the really cool part about that gift. So, more Awesomenaut trophies. Oh, I did play Awesomenauts, by the way. I should probably mention that. It's still good. If you have PlayStation Plus, I really hope you pick that up. That's all I have to say about that. Magic the Gathering Duels of the Planeswalkers. Avacyn Restored, or however you pronounce it, came out. I have played the game with a few of those AR cards now slipped in. Didn't pick up a fat pack this time. Haven't really had the budget for it yet. But might be something I spend my birthday money on. Not quite sure yet. Just have to wait and see on that one. Lots of angels, lots of zombies. My werewolves no longer flip, but they are their own new creature type. Just have to wait and see. I'm not quite sure yet if I'm going to get the fat pack. But probably wait and watch Amazon and see if the price slips down a little bit. In a 3-person game, my decks held out pretty well. Played in person, mano y mano y mano. And this was over Memorial Day weekend. I don't think I won many matches, but I was definitely the first guy that went, "Hey, look at me, look at me, look at me, kill me, wait, don't kill me, never mind." Kind of helps when one player gets mana screwed, and the other player I completely lock down with control spells, but that other player that I locked down also makes me discard most of my creatures. So we were at a very nice stalemate until he used an artifact which brought all the creatures out from the graveyard under his control. And yeah, it was all over but the crying at that point. Some good games, some good rounds. It was nice to finally play Magic on a 3-man group like that. And hopefully it will happen again. The last game showing up at the Raptor Report would be Final Fantasy XIII. The last birthday gift was Final Fantasy XIII 2, so it only bears to mention that I should definitely get my butt in gear and finish Final Fantasy XIII. Got another trophy in it, so definitely farther along story progression wise. And say what you will about Final Fantasy XIII, I'm still enjoying it. I play these Final Fantasy games, as I've said before, for the story, for the bookishness of it. Because I like seeing these characters grow and the story unfurl. Slowly but surely. Lots of characters to keep track of right now. I really appreciate some of the old school nods. There's a city called Palamporum, for instance. And I'll continue to progress. And now I have Final Fantasy XIII 2 to look forward to immediately after I complete 13. Most excellent. As far as the rest of the news, and this is going longer than I was expecting, Diablo 3, we mentioned that earlier, fastest selling PC game in history, which explains all of the issues people were frying them about. If you're running a game that runs on servers online, and everybody who bought it, the 3.5 million sold, plus the 1.2 annual pass people who could potentially be logging in, plus after a week of sales we're at 6.3 million, that's a lot of potential people wanging on those servers. Penny arcade term, I apologize. Hitting them hard. Of course it's going to happen. Of course it's going to be down occasionally. That's when you go and log into World of Warcraft next, or fire up your PlayStation and track me down and kick my butt in Street Fighter 4 and Flame Flash on the PSN. Or maybe even fire up League of Legends. So, as I said, I'll be waiting for Blizzard All-Stars before spending money, probably. The Facebook IPO, speaking of spending money, flop. One of my coworkers, hey, I'm walking that tightrope again. One of my coworkers enjoys calling it the face plant, because that definitely is what it seems to be, or what at least it's turned into, and I feel sorry for those who tried to jump in right when it started. Didn't have the funds, or I might have been one of those saps, poor souls. But speaking of Facebook, You Don't Know Jack is out on Facebook now. You play 5 rounds, so it's not as in-depth as, say, the console version at 10, with a follow-up Jack attack, but it's still fun. It's still solo. The way they will potentially make money is you can buy a little syringe to inject your score with a bonus, or buy more turns per day, more games per day, or just wait 2-3 games a night that's plenty. Maybe one of the reasons this podcast is so late. We only have a couple of last-minute geek-like news items. Since as the troll pointed out, the TSA is one of those lightning rods of hate of mine. The TSA in Philadelphia, the Philadelphia International Airport, they hired a priest who was sued for abuse. We'll leave it at that, so we can keep it as G as possible. I'm just shocked and appalled. Supposedly he is a baggage TSA security agent guy, but I know I fill in at other roles at work when needed, so why wouldn't he? Which means that there's a danger to the public. TSA, get your crap together, please. I'll just leave it at that. Again, this is why my kids aren't flying. 38 Studios has some kind of, explosion or implosion. These are the guys that make Kingdoms of Amalur. I haven't talked about this game much because, I haven't played this game. I know nothing about this game, really. But the publisher, 38 Studios, is definitely crashing and burning. And I feel bad for the folks that I follow who work at 38 Studios and wish them all the best. Looks like there were some poor management decisions at the very top, and it's a shame that the individuals who were pushing out the high-quality games are now having to look for other work. And also possibly stuck with second mortgages. Looks like part of the problem on that last piece is that 38 Studios promised to buy their employees' homes so that they would get on the market faster and they could then relocate to where the studio was moving into Rhode Island. But the studio actually left the houses in their employees' names. So once the company started getting into financial trouble, those weren't assets owned by the studio anymore, or the studio wasn't picking up the bill, which means the bank started calling the people that the houses were still in the names of. And my energy sundrop seems to be slowly wearing off, which is why I'm suddenly starting to talk slower, so we'll get done nice and quickly. The last piece, RFID security cards for high schools. I can understand the use for colleges, so you can, say, scan your way into a dorm room. I do not understand the use in a high school to do the same, or into a classroom. It just doesn't make sense to me. If my children end up with one of these, I am going to ThinkGeek and buy an RFID wallet that blocks those signals. Boom. Passive aggressive. But the schools don't need to be following the students everywhere. There are security risks, like those TSA priests, if they wanted to know where the child was. And there are also privacy concerns. I just don't like it at all. But if the school required it, we'd probably go with it, and then, as I said, get some of those RFID wallets to insulate the damage. But I'm FlameFlash, over at flameflash.net, FlameFlash on Twitter, FlameFlash82 over on Xbox. But really, just go to raptor.com/FlameFlash. You'll find all of my gaming profiles there. You'll find out that I hang out on Zangarmarsh and Argent Dawn, World of Warcraft servers. And that's probably the best place to find what I'm up to gaming-wise and maybe join in. I enjoy playing online with people that aren't going to be swearing like sailors. I game to game. I game to laugh. It's just how I game. It's probably why I don't game online much. Or use a chat interface instead of voice. But thanks for stopping by. And there are a lot of news items still waiting in my inbox, so we might get a 55 and a half a little bit later this week. Son's birthday is on Friday, so we'll wait and see. Otherwise, watch Monk of Mists, the World of Warcraft centric and the Blizzard centric FlameFlash.net subsidiary, and we'll see you on the interwebs. Hopefully, by the way, feedback is gone. Thank you for the feedback. And this is Flame Flash of FlameFlash.net, signing off.